Circumcision is the act of cutting off the foreskin that covers the head of the penis, or the act of cutting off the clitoris in the female. Many cultures in Africa used to circumcise their girls. Others still do to date. This act in women is today called female genital mutilation. It is unfortunate that up till now, there are tribes, including the educated people among them, that still circumcise their female children. In Tivland, however, there was never a time in history that the girl child was circumcised. They never did and still do not. Many cultures mutilate the clitoris of the girl child to reduce their sexual urge. This sometimes is done to keep the girls from having sex with boys. This to them is a form of protection of sorts. In Tivland, the girl child was given a different kind of protection when she reached puberty, instead of mutilating her clitoris. In those days, when clothing was at its budding stage of development in Tivland, a girl could only tie around her waist a small cotton cord covering above the nails. Going by the attractive nature of the girls with their pointed bare breasts, it was an uphill task to keep them virgins. Zoba said, in a classicative society, the integrity of the family in general and of the girl, the new wife, was measured by the virginity of the newly married woman. In every marriage, the husband expected his wife to be a virgin. The mothers were blamed if their daughters were not virgins. For this reason, the integrity of the family was protected to the utmost point. Mothers in the past used to take great care of their daughters and never allowed a chance for them to be seduced. When the woman saw that her daughter's breasts were beginning to appear and that the young men were paying attention to her, she became very worried about her. She took her off to an old woman who had the mastery of the Ingban jaw and asked her to tie a snail shell around her neck to prevent anyone from violating her. The old woman accordingly threaded a shell into a piece of cotton and tied it round the girl's neck, thus putting a guard upon her. The young men would fear to have intercourse with her, and she would come to full puberty without any boy touching her. Initiation into manhood. The young Tiv girl would carry the snail shell on her neck to prevent her from having a premarital sex. This shell was not removed till she got married. Circumcision, however, was celebrated when it was done to a young man. Tokola said, circumcision is the initiation into manhood. This was the preparatory for marriage. It was not fitting for a younger person to carry an attractive penis that will motivate him to sex. Thus, circumcision was done when a young man had reached the age to marry, between the ages of 16 to 18 years. Thief people initially never used to be circumcised until when the man thief had his first son, whose name was Episu, meaning uncircumcised. Akega said, thief himself was not circumcised as of that time. This son was born in the farm, and a certain foreigner who was hunting elephants was surprised to see that thief was not circumcised, yet had a child. Thief responded that he did not even know what circumcision was. It was at this time that he learned the act from this foreigner. Circumcision was one of the most important rites of passage into the life of a young thief person. Boys of the same age grade were circumcised on the same day. Before a child was circumcised, Tokola said he had to be purged of Me, Igbe, and Ahumbe in order to forestall visitation by any of these divinities causing bleeding. An initiate of any of these divinities comes in and performs the necessary rites. He further explained the purging process before the circumcision as follows. In the process, a chicken was twirled over the head of the boy to be circumcised using water in Ayongu. Pronouncing this incarnation, Ibo Sen Isho Kundu. Evil, go down into the soil. Good, go up into the body of the youth. The chicken having been twirled above the head of the boy, a piece of mud was placed on the toe of the right foot of the would-be circumcised. In this way, cleansing from Akwombo was done, and a boy goes away to be circumcised without any fear of visitation from Akwombo. When this process of purification was done, a young person sat on a wooden stool and held the person to be circumcised from the back, intertwining both his hands and his legs in such a way that circumcision was done without interference. A metal tool called atem, meaning a foreskin covering the hewn of the penis. As civilization increased, razor blades were used for circumcision in place of atem. When circumcision was done in thief culture, it graduated the person from childhood to youth. The person was introduced to the community's social activities such as hunting expeditions, farming, dancing, drumming, singing, and much more. At this stage, a youth is expected to dress properly, neatly, and even start to eat with elders.